Hey friends, it's Kiki for 107.5 WGCI and Kiss FM in Chicago. And today I am chatting with one of our own. Let me introduce you to Tamara. I don't want to mess it up. Tamara. I always want to call you something else. But yes, what's up, friend?
Hey, you could call me Tam for sure. It's totally fine.
That's what we gonna roll with, okay? I don't know why. It's not a hard name to pronounce. It's just me. I wake up real early. My bad.
Good.
How
Thanks.
are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited to be talking to you. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. You have a lot going on. I've been hearing your name buzzing. Obviously, you are the mastermind, no pun intended, but behind a lot of the amazing creatives that we see out here doing big things for some of our favorite artists. So, for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I first want to announce that it's officially the Mastermind. I got the notice today that I own the trademark now after
What?
2 years. So we could go ahead and put the Mastermind on everything.
Come on.
But I got started in a very quick, unbelievable way. It was as a result of a very traumatic experience. I moved across the country to pursue a corporate position. And 6 months into that position, I was let go, laid off due to
Mm,
corporate organization. And I came home for the weekend. It was Labor Day weekend. And I was so down and distraught and depressed and was like, I don't need to rush and go back. I don't have a job to go back to. And my mom said, the sooner you go back and get rid of them, the sooner you can move on with your life. And
wow.
so being the super type A OCD person that I was, taking a Southwest flight, I didn't check in on time like I normally do. I didn't have an A seat, so I didn't get a window seat. And I got on the plane and literally thought to myself, who is the least likely to speak to me on this plane? And I saw this really fabulous man with locks and a top knot with designer glasses on, looking out the window. And I said, he's for sure not going to talk to me. And I next to him. But as fate would have it and God's timing, we ended up talking on the flight. It started from teaching him how to close out his apps on his iPhone to talking about what I did for a living and fighting back tears. I'm like, actually, nothing. I just got, and he grabbed my hand and said, we're going to get rich together. I prayed to God for you. The universe sent you to me. I need someone to help me with my business who didn't want to be in the industry. You're that person. And he told me to call him 2 weeks before I got ready to move back to Chicago because he was from Chicago, but he was going to LA for work.
Mhm.
Me being the person that I am, just wanted to be super prepared. I'm researching everything. I'm working from the floor of my Orange County apartment because I sold everything. It was just like, I need to nail this presentation. I don't know what a stylist is. I don't know what I'm doing in this industry, but I know how to manage money
Mm.
and get my Excel sheets together, my QuickBooks together so I can show him what I'm working with. And so 2 weeks before I got ready to move back to Chicago, I called him to set up the meeting and he said, I actually just moved to LA. Can you meet me tomorrow? And I was like, yeah. Now, mind you, I'm in Orange County. I don't even have furniture, let alone the car. And I don't know how I'm going to get there. It's not like Chicago where you could just, hop on the L or go to the
Right.
bus. It's a 45-minute drive that nobody in LA wants to take. But again, as fate would have it, my best friend from college had just moved to LA to pursue her writing career. And I said, girl, can you please come get me and let me use your car for the day? And she did. And so I went all prepared with my laptop to show him all the things that I had been working on. And 2 minutes into the presentation, he said, okay, whatever, I don't need to see that. Just tell me what you need. And he left his place with his
Mm.
left hand. I'm talking about everything from his, bank logins to EIN numbers, everything about his business and personal life. And he still had my name saved in his phone as Tamara, except on the plane. It was so bizarre to me that anyone would do that. That when I got home, I wrote him an email like, hey, I know you basically just gave me my life, but you don't know nothing about me. Here's where I'm gonna be staying in Chicago. Here's my mom's name. Here's how many siblings I have. Like, you should have something on.
Something, right.
Gave me your life, and we kicked it off from there. I started off being a business manager, or what I thought was a business manager, essentially teaching him or showing him like where his money was coming in from, how much was coming in, how much was going out. I helped him recoup some expenses that, just get lost in the sauce when you're a stylist. You have assistants and they have to do returns. Some things, don't get returned on time. So I was just helping him clean all of that up. And as I was doing that, I began to wear other hats. I saw that he didn't have anyone to speak on his behalf when it came to negotiating rates like the talent that he was working for did. And so I put on that hat and started negotiating the deals. And it just went from there. I started negotiating his deals, and he referred me to someone during a very monumental moment, New York Fashion Week of February 2014. And they just continued to refer me to people, and I grew the business. Pivoted a couple times, but 10 years later, we're still here.
Wow. And for those that don't know, that man with them fashionable glasses and designer sitting on a plane, honey, is the one and only La Roche. Like, that's crazy.
Yes, it's so bizarre. So bizarre how that happened, but yeah.
Just from that one meeting literally changed your life. You grew with him on his journey. I know when he looks at you now, he's probably so proud of like everything that you guys have accomplished.
Yeah, he's really proud of me, and he's the one, who's been telling me for a couple of years, like, you need to get PR, you need to tell your story. And I've just been so comfortable being behind the scenes because I like my life, I like my business being my business. And I'm just, I don't want people, looking at me a certain way or expecting things from me, as a role model. Like, I just love what I do. And he, is just like, you have a story to tell, and you've done so much as someone who, didn't expect to be in this industry, who didn't grow up in this industry, and look at what you've accomplished. And sometimes, that imposter syndrome is like, but it don't seem like that much to me. Like, I'm just doing what I love. I'm just helping people, and, using my mouthpiece to negotiate deals. And it's like, no, you should celebrate that. So he was one of the people, along with some of my team and my best friends, who are like, Tam, it's
Yes. Yes. I mean, I love your story. And you being from Chicago too, and him being from Chicago, that is just crazy how you guys went out to LA and have built what you've built. But what was one of the things that you've learned along your journey? Like, what's the biggest lesson you feel like you learned from your time in that process building with him?
So one of the biggest things that I have learned is to always get things in writing. If it is not in writing, it is not real. We had a situation with a A-list client where I spoke to their rep about something. We aligned on the phone. It turned out that it was the incorrect information, and she was able to tell him that that's not what she told me, and I didn't have it in writing. And it's just like, if it's not in writing, anyone can make up their own story. But aside from that little technical tidbit, the one thing that I would say that has kept me thriving is just to believe in yourself. A lot of times when you're in a moment of things going wrong, or things not really turning out how you expect them to, I just always come back to that moment of like, you didn't want to get on that plane. You didn't, want to go back to Orange County, and look what that did for you. So you don't always understand in the moment, but just try to look back on it and reflect, and let that, encourage you to just stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine just on the radio side, we deal with so much with artists and labels. So when you're interpersonal like that, styling and hair and glam, and I just know that those team members go through a lot. And from what I've researched with your business is basically you represent a lot of the creatives in that space. So let's flex a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that resume, girl. I saw Cardi B, I saw Lizzo, I saw a lot. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so some of my artists work with some of everyone's faves in the industry, from hair to makeup to wardrobe to designing to tailoring to barbering. All the glam and grooming artists who get everyone's faves ready, a lot of them are on my roster. And we specifically focus on underrepresented communities on our roster. So, whether that is artists of color or LGBTQ plus, it just kind of fell in that lane, and I'm just really big on like honing in a niche and realizing, through the research that I was doing to build my business, that there was a lack of equity in the industry, and so I just focused in on that. But yeah, they work with a lot of big names, and I'm just so honored to be along the ride with them as they're stacking their resumes, and I'm just the one behind behind the screen, making sure that they need what they have, everything they need to get their jobs done.
Wow. So like if, I'm a big time rapper, I blow up tomorrow and I'm like, I need hair, makeup, stylist. I can come straight to you and you could put me in connection with the best in the business.
Yes, yes, I can. And on top of that, I'm going to ensure that the process is smooth for your team working behind the scenes, because that's where it gets a little tricky. The creatives and the talent, they're creative, so they bounce ideas off of each other, and sometimes that missing piece of having someone to come in and handle the business. It's like the talent doesn't want to talk about the numbers with the creative, but at the same time, the talent sometimes doesn't understand the budget or what they're asking for the creative. So I'm the person from the creative side talking to your people to make sure that behind the scenes, we're doing what we need to do to make sure that they can accomplish their vision successfully.
And it's so crazy because I didn't even know there was an agency that did that, because I feel like so many people nowadays, they build a following on Instagram, they have a gift, and you get your first celebrity clientele, and you're like, oh my God, I'm doing so and so's nails. Like, I can't believe it. And then you can go a year doing this person nails for free because you're just happy to be doing it. You just want to use it for your resume, but really, you're not getting paid what you're worth. And then that's where you come in.
Yep, 100%. And I'm so happy that you made that distinction, because what we do on the management side is a little bit different from the agency side. We prioritize the deal negotiation and the operational management of it, because we understand that a lot of the artists who come to us are, like you said, they're just passionate about what they do. But what people don't realize is that as soon as you decide that you want to make money from a talent or a skill, and you start a business, you're automatically not just an entrepreneur, but you're a CEO and you're a business owner. And so there are some things that come with that a lot of entrepreneurs aren't prepared for, especially creative entrepreneurs who, quite frankly, just don't even want to think about the business side.
Yeah.
So we get rid of all of that. Some of the most basic things, from like when we negotiate their deals and the cash flow of payment, like they get 1099 at the end of the year for us. So it makes their tax situation easier, whereas we get like, I think we were like at 500 last year. We got like 500 different 1099s. But it's like those little things that people don't see. Like, we're dealing with a situation right now where one of everyone's faves big beauty brands is going through a bankruptcy. And so there's this whole thing where if there are any debtors paid within like the 90-day period before they file bankruptcy, they pretty much, the trustee wants that money back, because they're like, oh no, they paid you as a favorable person. So like, this is mail that we get and we open, that like we have lawyers involved in, that if our artists got that, they probably would have never known, could have ended up getting future wages taken away from them, and none the wiser. So just that one example it speaks volumes to like the burden that we take off of them. We've also incorporated tech in our business. So our artists have an app where they could log on and literally see everything that they need for every single booking. They don't have to ask a question, call time, location, mood boards, all of that is in one spot. So they can focus on being creatives. They don't necessarily need to hire an assistant or necessarily need to hire someone to track what's coming in and out, because they can see it all. So we make that much easier for them, and that's what kind of sets us apart from the agency.
Wow, oh, like what? You are making waves out here. That is amazing. And I feel like, I'm glad that he's telling you and encouraging you to put your story out there, because a lot of people, I feel like, don't know that this even exists. Like, they don't know that there's somebody out there that can make their lives so much easier. And even with people like La Roche, seeing him with the whole Zendaya situation, and people were assuming he was taking some time away from, his passion or what we know him for. Do you feel like working in that type of industry can just be draining? Like, I just feel like, you pour so much into everybody else, but like, it seems like it will be very draining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't consider it draining because I love what I do, but I had to learn that you need a team and you also need to be able to set boundaries. A lot of my artists will refer to me as their life manager or just like she handles my life. And it's like, yes, but I also have a life. And
Right.
you know, I don't want them to feel any less taken care of, but at the same time, you do have to try to prioritize work-life balance. But that's where, making a decision to hire a team and to grow and to expand. Like for the longest time, again, with that imposter syndrome, when it came to like hiring a team, I guess I hadn't fully like really, really sat into what I was doing and believed in what the company that I was building. So everyone who worked for me, it was like percentage based because it was like, well, essentially we're not making money if ain't no money coming in, but I didn't have the obligation to have to pay. But you're only going to get a certain caliber of talent working that way, and you're only going to get a certain caliber of results working that way. And so, I had to make the decision of like, no, if I want a team who's going to stick with me and help relieve some of this burden so that we can grow while also maintaining the level of service that we provide to our artists, I need to become a real business owner. So that's, all of my team is on salary. We have benefits. We have the whole nine. So that was also a learning curve of being, a first generation entrepreneur, is that you don't know some of these things unless you grew up around it. And specifically being thrown into the industry, not having a mentor or, anyone that I assisted to like be like, oh, well, I saw them do this. I literally had to figure it all out. But it's worked out for 10 years now. So I'm really excited.
That's what's up. And so you got a big event coming up. Is it a celebration? Tell me about this event.
Yeah, so we're headed to LA for 10 years of Mastermind. It's going to be an amazing event. Not just celebrating my milestone though, but also celebrating all the artists and everything that they've contributed to the industry over the past 10 years. So it's going to be a good time. A lot of the people on my roster are friends. So, just having that day to just like kick back and just celebrate all the amazing, accomplishments that everyone has made over the past 10 years. It's going to be a really good time. And then we're also announcing the launch of Mastermind Matters, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that we founded to help provide resources to not only aspiring creative entrepreneurs so that they are privy to what we're talking about before they just jump into
Mhm.
their entrepreneurial lane, but also to provide those resources to creative artists like the one on my rosters, um, to help them set themselves up for life after, I say life beyond the brush, like once they put the hairbrush, lint brush, makeup brush, nail brush down, what does your life look like? And what resources can we provide to help you get set up, whether that's, a financial advisor to talk to or, an insurance broker. Just we want to help them be set up for life beyond the brush. And before we head to LA, though, I am having a kickoff here in Chicago this Friday at Hue.
Okay.
So, everybody come out, to celebrate. It's also for a good cause. And we are supporting another nonprofit at that event called Elevate Greatness. It's a foundation owned by my brother and his partner, Waniki. And their foundation or their nonprofit is focused on um, restorative education in the Chicago schools. So they have programming in some of the Chicago schools doing behavior redirection through social emotional learning. And the events are also an opportunity to provide a responsible place for our educators to kick back after school. So Friday at Hue will be there from 4 to 8 for happy hour. So we're celebrating all weekend long.
Yes. Okay. Now tell everybody where they can keep up with you and follow and get more information about your business.
So everyone can go to our website at mastermindmgmt.com, and we're on Instagram at mastermind_mgmt. And my personal is the mastermind, THEE.mastermind.
There it is. Thank you so much for checking in with the show. Like, I am very proud of you and I really, really love your story. I hope that more people hear about it. And I just wish you nothing but successes. Like, you are killing it. Okay. And you are the prime example of you just need an opportunity. That's it. One opportunity and you have not stopped. So congratulations on everything. I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited that you took the time to interview me. This is a full circle moment for me. I don't know if Ebony shared, but I actually interned at GCI when I
Oh,
was that's years. I was like, I could be a radio host, but my whole life, these serendipitous interactions is crazy. I pivoted from accounting my freshman year of college and pursued an internship at WGCI, where I was
yeah.
intern. So, they're in the trenches.
Wait, so what year was that? Who were you interning under?
So that was in 2009. It was the summer of 2009. And ironically, I interned, she's not there anymore, but one of my mentors, Aston Hayes, who turned out to be an alum of the college that I was at, and also the charter member of my chapter. I'm a Delta by way of,
Okay.
so me applying for that internship, she went to the school that I went to. She's a charter member of the chapter that I was trying to get into at the time. Like, oh, I'm an interested. She's a charter member. So, and then I got the internship, and, it's just been so many instances like that. So, it's a full circle moment for me being, in the GTI hallways, prepping the vans for, the pop outs and all of that, to now being able to interview with you is really, really special to me.
Well, we're proud of you, okay? And we're gonna always hold you down. I love Aston. That's family forever. So I can't wait to tell her that I talked to you. But girl, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting these creatives on, and we will be supporting you from the crib. So